World of WoW, episode 47, recorded on October 18th, 2009. I'm Brent Copeland.
I'm Eric Fullerton.
And with us today, we've got a couple guys on Skype.
Charlene.
And they are...
Ash Williams.
I'm Ash Williams.
Spencer Williams.
I'm Spencer Williams.
The Williams brothers.
We're not related.
We are not.
Do they want to be?
The Olympic Club if we
No.
constantly.
Well, we could, but it would just be wrong.
As opposed to right now where it's totally cool.
Yeah.
So you guys are both in our guild on Dawnbringer. And in fact, Ash Williams, you just joined our guild, which is totally cool. You spent the $55 and moved it, right?
Let's talk about that during our weeks.
Let's do that.
Come on, save the gold.
I'm jumping ahead, aren't I? I'm excited. Okay.
It's a long podcast because we got to talk about Hallows End, which is just started on Sunday. And also there's a lot of stuff going on the PTR that we've got to dish about.
Dish, baby, dish.
But before we get into that, it's time for the Week in WoW.
Nice, I like that.
Well, if you like it so much, why don't you tell us about your week?
Okay. This week
in WoW.
In WoW, I did a little bit of the old playing Cinder, which is my priest. I got him up to 71 this week. I did Utgard and I did the Nexus. First instances I've done so far with him in Northrend. So I had a good time. I played with Sabrina, who just now hit 71 with her Death Knight. So that's really cool. Let's see. On Sindok, I hit 77. That's my warrior. Chugging right along with him. It's very cool. Oh, yeah, I can fly now. That's awesome.
I believe I can fly.
I believe Eric can fly.
Yeah, I can. It's true. So I heard that when you get to 80, you can get a tome that unlocks the cold weather flying.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more. We got an email about that, actually.
Oh, okay,
so we'll
good.
save that
Trying to jump ahead, Eric.
No kidding.
Oh, I'm crazy.
Eric, why don't we just do the outro?
Let's see.
Believe me, he's known to do that too.
I'll do it. And let's see, what else did I do? Just tons of stuff. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I started Cinder in Howling Fjord, which is cool because my other character, Sindok, I played in Borean Tundra. So it's fun. I'm getting new content, different content. Now that I think we're just about to clear the very last quest and maybe get that achievement, the 150 quest or whatever it is.
The Boring Tundra achievement?
Yeah. Well,
Don't you think it's so odd that they named it that?
Yeah, no, that's kind of rude.
Nothing boring about Borean?
That's what it is. Nothing
Okay.
boring, yeah. So
Okay.
that's a good one. Now, this is the Howling Fjord one, so it's like nothing fjord about fjord or something. I don't know. So, yeah, after that, I'm just going to go to, I don't know, Dragonblight. And then it'll just kind of be like, oh, yeah, I already did this. But, that's what you got to do. I did notice some weird things about Howling Fjord, though. On the southeast, there's just a big blank spot that I had to uncover. It was just foggy. I go down there, nothing there. You got to unfog it, though, just to get the achievement of being explored or whatever, but nothing there. So then on the bottom left, there is, or southwest, there's some islands over there. Never did I get a quest to go down there. But you can go down there and just unfog it. Now, I'm on Horde, and I was telling you about this, Brent, and you said, oh, maybe it's Alliance stuff.
I think the east side is Alliance. Now, the west side, I think that you're talking to the Kalaka guys. The Walrus Men. Whatever. the Kalawak 1984 guys. And there's actually one that stands up at the lift up top, which I think you can talk to him and he'll kind of send you on your way down there. But if you're working towards getting their faction, I think you want to look a little bit deeper over there.
Okay. Selin in the chat room says, I've toured the fjord. That's the achievement. It's nothing fjordy about fjord, although it should be. It makes more sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
And I think that's it, really. Just tons of questing. It's Halloween now. I just tweeted about twice. And
You
Bob for apples.
trick or tweeted?
Yes, I got some apples.
I actually did trick or tweet because I got a couple of the Halloween or the Hallows End achievements, which automatically tweets it for me. So I actually.
Do you have a special Twitter account for that?
Yes.
Brent
good.
Brent _MMO.
Yes.
Because I know at least one person on my list, on my friends list on Twitter right now, is tweeting WoW stuff, and that's just the height of annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, on your main feed is probably unwelcome.
It's a little too much, yeah. Especially, I mean, if you use the TweetCraft add-on to do it, I mean, you can set it up to tweet every time you change zones. Like, how obnoxious would that be? Hey, I've changed zones again. And, like, if you're flying somewhere...
I'm going to call out Requisition. Which Requisition?
Aldonis.
So, he's playing a new character, which means he's getting all kinds of crazy newbie achievements. Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah, Spencer, you follow me on Twitter, right?
Yeah, but I don't pay any attention to you.
Well, right. But what I'm going to do then is I'm going to get TweetCraft. I'm going to get on my flying mount, go like right to the edge of 2 zones, and just fly back and forth.
Sweet.
I can get behind that.
You heard it here first. Spencer's going to get behind Ash.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
Not the first
tweet
time.
about it or something. I'm not sure.
All right. So who had an exciting week? Who else besides me?
I don't know if it was so exciting, but I'm happy with the Hallows End stuff. I love because there's all the candy that you get to play with, and not only that, but all the wands that turn into different stuff. You get to try to kill the boss to try to get the Scorchling or the mount or the helm, the pumpkin head. So you can always run around as a pumpkin all year long. That's always cool.
Yeah.
So I started that this morning, and there's...
Is that the one I just got?
Yes. You
it's a blue.
Lucky he got it from just trick-or-treating.
Yeah, it was my first trick-or-treating of the year. I got it.
And we'll get a little more into the Hallows End fund in our Hallows End section. But I did take care of... There's achievements for going around to every single inn and dipping your hands and getting candy out of the bucket. Mm-hmm. And so I did that all over Kalimdor, all over East Kingdom, and all over Burning Crusade this morning. Took about 3 hours, but I got every single one. So that was...
Did you wake up really early?
I did. Yes. yes, I did. I also been playing with the Frenzy Heart faction. I noticed most people go to the Oracles. There's 2 factions in Sholazar Basin in Wrath that compete with each other. And a lot of people go with one of them because you can get this item that every so many days can turn into a pet or even a mount, I believe.
Yeah, you get an egg.
Yeah, and it hatches after a while. Well, the other side gets a jar of slime or something, and that's the side I went with because in the end you can get this item that actually turns you into one of the Frenzy Heart guys, which is like one of the dog men. And I haven't seen anybody doing that one because everybody wants the pets and the mounts, of course. So I figured I'd do this one first and then switch factions to the other one. Got my first jar, and we'll see what it does. I actually made a couple Alliance characters. So all my Alliance rage, y'all can all just wash it away.
Wow.
Because I actually made 2 Alliance guys. It was kind of cool because I made them the exact same look. So it's kind of eerie, them running around. And they had the same face and hair and everything. And I thought about how cool would it be to start like an alternate Alliance guild. And the only people you let in, they had to have the exact look. So then you're like running around and there's like 20 of you and you all look the same and people are like, what's going on? It's creepy.
Nice.
Well, except after a while, like, I mean, you can't really tell what people look like except for their equipment anyway. And so what I think you should do is like only people that use the same equipment at the same time.
Well, no, that's when they have to be naked.
Oh.
But it was weird after 3 seconds of being in the world. Like I had just, escaped out of having to listen to all the lore stuff that they talk about as you make your character, and like 3 seconds later I get a tell, hey, do you want to join my guild? I'm like, really? Like, I'm level 0 basically. I'm not really even level 1 yet.
Yeah.
Even though I start off at level 1.
They don't even know if you're a gold farmer because you could be at level 1 hanging out,
I'm like, really? I'm like,
Brent is known for his gold farming.
And so I said yes, but you got to invite my other character in there too. So we both got into Liquid Blue Justice or Steel. Liquid Blue Steel.
God, I hate those guys.
Isn't that a great guild name? Not. Liquid Blue Steel? Come on! See what's wrong with Alliance people and the names they come up with are even stupid. So, not all
I don't know. There's
people.
that one on our guild that I kind of like, the Evil Guild of Evilness. I kind of like that.
Nice.
But so, anyway, I got them to like 7th level, and the only reason I did this was to get a recipe, because there's an achievement to get like 160 recipes, and there's some recipes that you have to get by doing quests on the Alliance side. So you have to buy them off the auction house. Well, I have yet to see this recipe under 200 gold for sale on like our side. So I was like, screw that. I'm going to make a 7th level character and go get it. And so I did, and I did it with 2. So I sent one for me and then one to sell for 200 gold because I'm going to be that crappy person.
Well, why not?
Yeah, I figure I'm going to start a few more characters and get more and just keep doing I mean, really, it didn't take long.
What level did you have to be to get the recipe?
It's like 5th level. It's really low.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. I mean, that's 200 gold right there, baby. It's Night Elf area. Real easy to get. Then let's see. After that, I have been still trading pets back on the auction house. You know, buying them for 500 gold in the Alliance and selling them on the Horde for 1,000. Because that's really the only way you can get them. And then buying 2 for 500 on the Horde side, shipping them back to the Alliance and selling those for 1,000. Because they go back and forth. But it's been slowing down, so I would really say don't do this if you were thinking about doing it. It's getting to where prices are getting fairly stagnant, and they're starting to even out about 800 gold on both sides. And I figure that's the way, you know, as everybody's getting the pets and crap. Anyway,
you oversaturated the market.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't. No, sirree. But that's I got my Murloc from the Direct TV event.
Thing.
Yeah, and the odd thing was, if anybody else has gotten it or is about to get it, if you have multiple accounts, make sure they're on the same BlizzNet whatever account.
BattleNet.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, it gave it to both my accounts under the BattleNet, and so now both my accounts got it, and every character I ever make on those accounts will get it from now on.
Oh,
that's awesome.
So I figure most things will be like that. So it's I think if you can try to get your accounts into the same one. Anyway, so Spionza. I haven't seen you on much lately.
I have been distracted by other things lately. Specifically, swine flu I had, and it kind of knocked me off of the computer or really doing anything for a while. But I logged on briefly this week just to kind of check in and see how things are going. And I hit level 46 with Amelie. My what class is Amelie? Do you remember? Warlock. Yeah, Warlock. I'm really into this. I can't even remember what class I'm playing.
Hell. You are kind of in that level range that's kind of, I always feel a personal slowdown.
Mine was, I had a really, really heavy slowdown. I felt like towards the end of the 20s and the beginning of the 30s, that was a really, really hard slog. And this isn't really that hard. I'm just not really that interested in playing this level range for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't think the content is terribly engaging.
It's like more of the same.
Yeah, and we were talking about this briefly before the show, and you were talking about the Halloween event, and Ash and I both said that we're not really that interested in it because we have other priorities.
Right.
And I kind of feel like until I get at least to 60, at least to the Burning Crusade content, which they made with the benefit of more experience on the game, I feel like once I get there, I'm going to start paying attention to what I'm doing again. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm turning on TV on one monitor and I'm running collection quests, and that's, you know, it's I'm not saying I'm not having fun, but it's not terribly engaging.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I just agree with, like, in that 40 through 50 zone, it seems like they send you to places where it's just really desolate and boring. Like, the zones they make you go to are just dull.
Where am I right now? I'm right around Gadgetzan in that desert region.
Oh,
am I saying
Tanaris?
Yeah, Tanaris.
Yeah, and it's boring as crap.
Yeah, I didn't like that very much. Is the they added in Steam Weedle, Sprocket, whatever in Dustwallow Marsh? I think is that the place?
I've already covered that. I've already done
it. So yeah, it's like they tried to add in stuff to try to help through those 40s, but really, I hope in the Cataclysm expansion they kind of speed up the 1 through 50s to make it Kind of like the 60 through 70 and the 70 through 80. You know, it's just like I only have attention span for this type of content for this long now. Move me along.
Am I off base in thinking that the content will get better at 60?
No, you're right.
No, I think yeah,
It definitely does.
You are going to go to a different planet, sir.
Yeah.
Quite
I
literally.
Yeah. They had time to think it through and make some interesting things. The artwork changes. I mean, a lot of things change. In fact, I think that the textures are more higher resolution or more detailed up there as well.
Yeah.
Because they changed the engine.
You won't be there that long either. Talk about fast leveling.
Yeah.
You'll go through. You'll get to 70, so be up in Wrath.
And I'm going to actually, you know, what I'm doing now is I'm not really running the quest. I mean, I'm gathering quests. I'm trying to gather ones that I do things in the same area, and I'm doing them. I'm not really reading anything. When I have to read something, typically I view it more as an impediment. You know, like I think I'm doing the right thing, but nothing's happening, so now I have to go and read the damn quest.
Oh, that happens all the time.
And so I don't like that feeling, and that's almost that usually causes me to stop playing MMOs. The difference I think with WoW is I feel like I have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's the carrot.
Yeah,
right?
that's how all MMOs get you to stay.
The carrot on the stick. But
So
yeah,
are you
stupid
using
words.
Quest
But in
Helper
most
at all?
MMOs, it's not true.
Yeah. Well, are you using Quest Helper at all?
I am, yeah.
Okay, see, I ran into that with Quest Helper a lot too, because so many times you're just like, okay, follow the arrow, get to point, start killing the creatures that you think you're supposed to be killing, and then like 20 minutes later, you're like, I haven't got the thing, and you got to read the stuff. Oh, I'm supposed to piss on his body after he's dead. I missed that part.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you would think that the stone penis item that they give you would be a hint.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing one better than Quest Helper. I'm using what's it called?
Jonas Guide.
Brian's Knops.
It's-
Something.
That's
Hold on.
Alliance.
Okay.
Let me think. It's Tour
A
Guide.
bot.
Tour
Oh.
guide. Okay,
Tour Guide?
that's a kind of newer one that I've seen out there.
I haven't used it.
I haven't used it on Quest stuff, but I've noticed that they've started making them for the events, like there's one for Midsummer's Festival, and I think so it'll show you like how to go the fastest way to get stuff and things like that. So
Okay.
it's a pretty good Quest helper though.
It's hit and miss, honestly. I would say that in general, when you go back to a town and you turn in like 15 quests all at once, and you get 3/4 of a level just from that, it feels so awesome.
Right.
But it's sort of hit and miss in that some of the writing in the helping, the quest helping is not great. So sometimes you find yourself having to go back to the actual quest text and try and figure out what you're supposed to be doing.
Well-
But I would say that I am going faster than I would be otherwise.
Well, what do you guys think that Blizzard thinks about these add-ons? I mean, do you think they're really mad, or do you think they're like, ooh, they're making the game really easy and people will stick with it, and that's what we're trying to do? Because they are making it pretty darn easy to play these days.
I think it's kind of twofold. I think you've got probably some people, especially probably the people writing the quests.
Oh,
and
I
stuff,
bet they
that's
hate
like,
it.
God, they're skipping all this content that I spent
Yeah.
all this time writing. But then there's the people who actually like make the money there, who are like, wow, this is awesome. They're keeping people playing the game,
Yeah.
and we don't have to look like we're cheaping out by creating our own in-game version like all the new MMOs are doing.
Right.
Right?
Now, I would still be playing without this. It's just something that I found, and I found it right around level 20. I was like, right around level 20, I was thinking, okay, where do I need to go now? Because I just done all of the Blood Elf content, and I was like, I don't know where to go next.
Well, 4 years ago, it was Thoughtbot. And then 3 years ago, it was Wowhead, or Alakazam,
Alakazam.
right? And then now it's Wowhead.
I still use Thoughtbot.
Really? Oh.
There's Trojans on Thoughtbot now.
Yeah, be careful
Okay,
with Thoughtbot. Yeah.
Someone tell me what else to use, because that's what
Wowhead.
I'm using.
Wowhead.
Yeah, Wowhead, WowDB is really good.
WowDB, that's
There's-
Curse's
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that's you remember Chip, right? From
Yeah.
local. He actually works for Curse, so we can kind of
I know.
guarantee that one's a good
So
one.
we got an inside scoop.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
thanks.
I remember with great joy his final blow up at Warhammer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good old
that was
Warhammer.
sad.
Going back to your question, though, I think that by the time someone has gotten to the point where they start actually using add-ons, I mean, for me, I didn't use add-ons till I was 60. Way back in the day, I didn't even know about them. So I think by that time you're kind of hardcore, and so most people that would use Quest Helper have probably already gone through the game without it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of a tool for like leveling up your alts than anything. For most people, like Spencer's different because he's on a podcast, and so you guys are like, go check out this Quest Helper thing. But most people
no. I love add-ons with a white hot passion that probably would be NC-17 rated.
Let me reword it then. You're already hardcore. How about that? Like most people that get WoW because WoW is so friendly aren't like in love with add-ons before they get the game.
I can buy that. I actually think finding add-ons is fun. I like finding add-ons and installing them. It
Oh,
makes me
yeah.
happy.
I mean, that is really fun. It's kind of like downloading apps on the iPhone. It's the same kind of joy that I get, just discovering some new functionality, that you can have with the game, with WoW, or new functionality of your phone. It's like unlocking a new little gift, a little surprise,
Yeah. And it's probably actually helped to extend the life of WoW to some degree. Just like the fact that the App Store is pretty much, one Apple, phone percentage usage.
Right.
Well, I mean, going back like 2 years ago, for me, like I would have 2 or 3 friends like on Skype, and we would be sitting in whatever the main city was at that time, and we'd just be building an interface, and we would be sending each other screenshots like, look what I'm building. Oh, that's cool. Look at what I'm doing. So I mean, yeah, definitely, we would sit there for hours and just work on add-on stuff. Like, oh, I like where you put your bars and stuff like that. So yeah, it definitely extends the life.
I definitely like where you put your bars.
Hey,
oh yeah.
I actually ended up going a lot longer on my week than I meant to because I really played very little. So Ash, how was your week?
My week was hurt my wallet because
right.
I as Eric mentioned earlier, I put down the $55 and shipped or whatever, shipped my mage over to Dawnbringer and now Horde, and that's my main character. So that's dedication to you guys right there.
That is dedication.
That's
awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I haven't really got a group with you yet.
Now that you're on the server, Ash, and I'm being sincere here, I want to play more. I'm like, yay, Ash.
Well, I'll run I love running people through stuff and helping with quests. Like I played the other night with Eric and Sabrina and did a bunch of quests with them. I like helping people out, so I mean, I'll run you through whatever you want. I don't care.
Can you do that as a mage? I mean, like, can they run through Scarlet Monastery and like gather everything up and just destroy it all?
Pull everything. Yeah, because mage is AoE. So I mean, up to a point. I mean, I probably couldn't do Burning Crusade content or anything like that, but yeah, I can pretty much solo most of the instances.
I'm still kind of iffy on being run through content, especially if it's content I've never seen before. I think I might just avoid a lot of it this first time through, since I'm so focused on leveling, and then like maybe try and go through it with a second character. I don't know. I haven't really.
But you said there was a lull in level in the 30s, so and your main priority is leveling. So wouldn't that actually be a benefit to you?
Well, I did. I got run through Scarlet Monastery and got 2 levels that way around that level range.
Right.
And when the next patch comes out, you'll have a lot more help because you'll be able to use the cross server looking for group tool. I mean, right now, I gotta imagine it's pretty tough finding a group for pretty much any dungeon.
Is that going to be a patch upgrade, or is that going to be an expansion upgrade?
Patch. It should actually be in the next patch. I think it's on the PTR right now.
It's going to be the very next patch?
Well, the next big patch, 3.3.
Right.
With all the bells and whistles coming with Ice Crown and all that stuff. So.
Oh, that's the cross-server ninja looting time.
They'll have something. This is Blizzard, right? They'll have something in there to some kind of ratings, or they'll force group loot or something. That they'll have something in there where you're not going to get screwed. Hopefully.
Hopefully. Oh.
And so Ash, on your week, I haven't gotten to play with you much. I know we've kind of grouped up a couple times, but I was watching a football
Nothing
game.
happened though.
And I pushed you into a group of our guild mates.
And that went well.
Did you get any loots? Did you get the wand you were looking for?
No, the wand didn't drop. Still, it's been a couple of months I've been running that instance for it. It dropped one time, and I lost the roll like last month. But anyway, yeah, that all went well. We ran a few different ones, and they were very nice. I was pleasantly pleased with the kindness and because they were both it was like two married couples, so it was very family kind of esque. Like
Yeah,
it didn't feel like
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
You know, like it wasn't like running with. It still felt like strangers because I don't know these people yet. But I mean, it wasn't like a pug,
like Xbox Live.
Right.
Yeah.
No. They know. They've been in that dungeon so many damn times and know every inch of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did Utgard Pinnacle. That was the one instance I never ran. It was my last one out of the like the Northrend Dungeon Master achievement or whatever, and they were walking me through it. But yeah, the level of familiarity that they had made me feel more comfortable, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Is the Pinnacle the 80 level?
Yeah.
Utgard, okay.
It's the one
Utgard
upstairs.
has two of them.
Utgard Keep downstairs and Utgard Pinnacle.
Okay.
Upstairs.
There's not a third one.
I don't know. Not that I've been in.
See, it's so weird. BC is all about like three. It's always in threes. They have they just always have three, right?
Yeah.
80.
Yeah. What was the Hellfire one that they had?
Ramparts, blood.
But, I mean, it had a specific name, and then it was like all the different wings.
Oh yeah. Whatever it is.
See, they would always have 2 5-mans and a raid, right?
Or three 5-mans in a raid. Is kind of how they went.
Oh, 3. Oh, so there would be a 4.
Yeah.
4 dungeon. Like
yeah,
hubs.
pretty much. That's how they did every dungeon wing in BC. Is you have 3. I think basically what they said. I mean, think about it. Like, once you're done with those levels and now you're onto the new expansion, it's a lot of wasted content.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You go, did we really need 3 dungeons for each of those? Maybe we can cut it down to like 1 or 2, and then get people in the high levels. You know.
What do you think that there's more BC content than there is Northrend? Because it feels like it to me, but I'm not 80 yet. So
as far as dungeons, yeah.
There's so much more to do, like daily wise. Like I think they keyed more. You got all the crusade stuff. I mean, that's 10 quests every day right there if you want to do. You know, and then like it's PvP. There's another 10 quests you can do every day. Not to mention the faction stuff. There's another probably 30 quests you could do. If you could do that many dailies and wanted to, there's so many more dailies.
Yeah, that's true.
And more interesting dailies. I mean, like they're not just the same. Same 2 ones.
Was it Island of Quel Danas or something?
Yeah,
I really like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
I actually like the island as well. Having everything right there, one place.
Yeah, now it's a big waste. All you do is you go there and you get a title that I saw that you wear, Ash.
Yeah, I have
paid all
had that title
money
for ages. I had that title like 2 weeks after that patch dropped because I was hitting that place up hard.
I got the one title, and people ask me how they can get it, and I'm like, you can't get it. This is an old PvP title.
One?
It's like
Bloodguard or
Master Sergeant or something. Or no, it's not Master Sergeant. It's something
Scout.
Sergeant. No, it's something Sergeant.
Noob Sergeant?
Noob Sergeant. I think that's it, yeah.
But anyway. You guys totally hijacked my week, by the way.
We do that.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
If you listen to the podcast,
we're like philosophical about like PC content and stuff. Anyway, sorry. All right, back to Ash.
Well, I had a few stories because I've never had a level 80 horde. This is my first time getting past level 20 horde.
Oh, yeah, this is cool,
weird,
then.
right?
Yeah.
Like, how weird is that slipping over and all suddenly, like, you don't know any of the places? I mean, you know the Alliance places, kind of, but...
Well, I mean, earlier today I was helping Sabrina Quest, and I realized right at the last second we didn't run in there, but I almost took her to the Alliance Quest hub in Dragonblight. I was like, oh,
awesome.
Where's the Horde place? And like in my head I'm thinking, the Horde get this huge town, and we just got this little campsite fight, sons of bitches.
I love that feeling because it's like you're an 80th level character. You've done most of the stuff in the game, but now all of a sudden you're a noob. You know?
Yeah, and all these places have quests I can do because I've done all the alliance quests and the neutral quests, but then there's all these horde specific quests that I get to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, I can make so much more gold now.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. What if you ran and did all the Wrath of Lich King quests, did them all, and then switched factions, and now you have all quests again.
I had all the same quests that Sabrina had earlier when we went to the horde place. In Dragonblight, I got 11 quests, and they all had a 1 next to them.
Well, I don't know what you would get. You would get more faction.
Gold, baby.
You would get gold.
Gold, baby,
you
gold.
You wouldn't get any more. Well, you would actually go towards getting your achievement and getting, 10,000 quests done or something? Or not 10,000, but there's one that's you get quests done in each zone, but then there's that achievement that is just a big number, right?
Some of those, I think, get reset completely. Ash, let me ask you this: all the lore seeker quests, Kalimdor and Eastern Kingdom, what did it do to those?
I didn't check. I can log on right now, or I can tell you about it next week.
Let's do. That'll be your. I love giving assignments out each week. So that'll be your assignment for next week. Is to look to see what it did to your quest for the Lore Keeper, because that's interesting. Because that is such a pain. We have Dream Diva in our guild has been looking for, I think, 10 quests to finish up that Lore Keeper thing, and she just cannot find those 10 quests. Yeah, but what if you could switch faction and just do 10 quests?
Yeah.
And finish it
up.
Well,
I'm just going to load up WoW right now and check. Why not? I'm interested.
I almost want to load up so I can trick or treat. I think we're putting Spencer to sleep, though.
Yeah.
I'm still listening. I just don't have anything to say.
I still need to get to my stories, but actually there was one thing that I found hilarious because, I just transferred. This actually goes right into the first story I wanted to tell. I had just finished my transfer, and I log on, and I'm listening to last week's World of WoW, and you were saying something Brent was saying something about fishing and getting tons of gold, and I'd never leveled fishing, so I was like, whatever, I'll just level fishing because I feel like playing and I don't know anyone on the server and I have nothing to do. So start leveling fishing. As soon as I cast my my line out, I get an achievement for fishing in both Stormwind and Orgrimmar or whatever. I don't know all your stupid horde names.
Orgrimmar, it's close enough.
But yeah, so that worked because I had counted that I guess I had fished once or twice before, but it was only level 5. But I guess I had fished in Stormwind, and then as soon as I started on my horde side, I got that achievement. So that didn't reset.
Nice.
But anyway, I had put myself into looking for group for heroic trials, and 25 minutes later, I got an invite. And so I teleported to Dalaran because I'm a mage and I can do that. And 2 or 3 of...
Teleport, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't need a Hearthstone woman. Woman. I'm sorry, lady listeners. I just say that for fun. I don't mean anything by it. Actually, I do.
Wow, this podcast is going downhill. So you get to Dalaran.
And there's 2 or 3 people from that group in Dalaran, and I see a couple of them, and they're all in Lunar Dawn.
Yeah, baby.
Our guild, and I was like, what a crazy happenstance! I get invited to a group full of people that I'm going to be in this guild with. I wasn't in the guild yet.
We are inclusionary,
and so that was really cool.
Did you say what up, my diggers?
No, I did. That wasn't a phrase at the time.
Oh, that's right. You just made that up today.
You said diggers?
Yeah. Digga. Digga. So that was. I just thought that was funny. And the other funny story I wanted to mention was I was trying to do the fishing daily for about an hour, and I opened up my friend's tab, and I saw you were on, and that you were in Shelazar Basin. Brent, I need to specify who you is.
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, are you doing the fishing daily? Because I've been doing it for an hour and I haven't got anything." And you're like, "Yeah, I'm doing it right now." And I look across the river and you've been standing there the whole time. I just thought that was hilarious.
Well, I have to get away from where everybody's fishing because I use a fishing mod add-on, and what it does is when you put on your fishing pole, it boosts the sound up extremely loud, so you can hear your bobber really easy. But the problem is if there's people next to you
at the same time.
Huh?
So you can like watch TV and fish at the same time.
Exactly. But the problem is if someone comes up next to you and starts fishing, you start hearing their bobber, or if they do a spell, it's like extremely loud. So I get away from everybody. And to add on to your story, I'd been there forever too. I had like 3 stacks of fish going. Damn, this thing won't drop. And then I realized I was in a raid. So, of course, it's not going to fish up that damn ghost fish. The elusive ghost fish. Until I left a raid. Did you ever get it, by the way?
I did get it, but I just thought it was hilarious that you were just like 5 feet from me the whole time. I didn't even know.
Hey, Azeroth, it's a small world.
What's your character's name?
Fevers, with an S at the end.
That's right. I'm going to start calling you Fever.
I'm gonna start punching you in the face.
You give me fevers.
Fevier.
Fevers.
I like that.
Feathers.
No Fevy.
Feverosity.
So,
well, Brent, how would you feel if someone called you Durgles?
I get it all the time, man.
Durgles?
Durgles, Doogles, D.
Excited.
Dead air!
Everyone calls me Sin because all my characters start with Sin.
Yeah.
So you don't.
Yeah, but do they call you Sins?
No.
Sins.
I don't know why.
How obnoxious and annoying would that be?
Well, they might call you Sins because you have all the sins, right?
I'm
going to start going by Amelie's.
Amel.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that? Did you have some more cute stories to tell?
No, that's all my cute stories.
Okay, I know. I dig your stories. It really moves the podcast along.
Yeah, I really love your stories. Moving on.
So, we got Hallows End. Who's excited about Hallows End? Raise your hand.
Woo!
Well, shows.
I'm halfway excited because I'm still leveling too.
Right. Well, it's you can do stuff without leveling, right?
Yeah, but I feel like it's not on my priority list.
Right.
So I feel like I'm slacking if I'm doing other stuff.
Okay.
You know, I hate to bring it up, but it's my point of reference at the moment. When they had the monthly sort of events in Warhammer, I was a lot more excited for them for some reason.
Well, because you thought you were getting something, right?
I did think I felt like. I feel like that the problem with Warcraft in that regard is that there's too much stuff. And bear with me here. I feel like there is so much kind of unique things out there that I could find that would be cool, that trying to get these unique things from these holiday events is far less of a priority. Like in Warhammer, there were like 4 armor sets, and you could get like fancy hats at these events. Well, you can get fancy hats pretty much anywhere in Warcraft, so it's sort of like an issue of drowning in goodness.
Right. Yeah, I guess the thing with the main prize things for the events or getting like the pets, right? You can get like the Scorchling pet, or the big one with the Hallows End is the witch broom. So you can fly around, and the flyer is on a broom.
Yeah, those are fun. I like those.
Isn't that awesome? A broom.
And you get the epics if you fight the dude. And
yeah, they're pretty crappy. I mean, they updated them to 80s, but they're...
I liked them last year, or a couple years ago. Yeah. I mean, I used the ghoulish ring thing until I was 75 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're decent.
Can I ask another question real quick?
Yeah.
Are these like events level restrictive?
Yes.
See, that's the other thing.
Portionally. You can get these items doing the trick-or-treat stuff if you're not level high enough to actually go kill the Headless Horseman. If you just want to kill the Headless Horseman, you can actually, a lot of the newbie towns, like the second area, like Brill, Razor, whatever, Bloodhoof, etc. All those, the first towns you come to have a mini event where the Headless Horseman will fly around and throw fire on the buildings, and you've got to go and grab these water buckets. And it's cool because you actually have a big bucket in your hand, and you go throw it on the houses, and when you put out all the fires, he comes down and you kill him, and then you have a quest to squash his head, basically pumpkin squashing. And then you turn that in and get
rewards. Is there any way for me to get the flying broom at level 40 something?
I don't know. I don't know if... I almost assume maybe you could get lucky and trick or treat and get it, because Eric got an item that I thought you could only get from him today. So I'm thinking maybe they're rare drops on the trick-or-treating. Like every hour you can go to an inn and trick-or-treat, and they'll give you either a trick, which they'll like turn you into a bat, or they'll give you a bag with something in it,
or something else.
Yeah,
Don't
like
they turn you into a skeleton?
Yeah, they can turn you into a bunch of stuff, but you also get things like wands that'll turn people into pirates or bats or skeletons.
Or blobs.
You can also get paper mask to wear, so you can run around as a gnome.
Yeah, there's a achievement for getting all the masks.
Yeah,
remember that?
So it's until you're 80 and can actually go kill the headless horseman, and it may be 75 or something. It's just Scarlet Monastery, so I guess really you could go in any time with these people, but the rings that drop are 80th level rings.
Yeah, but I could get them.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to wear it till you're 80.
Yeah, you see, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
The only thing, you talk about this broom thing, and it sounds like totally awesome, and it sounds like something that I'd want to get, even knowing that I can't use it until, I'm level 70 plus, and I'd be fine with that. But if I can't get it, then I kind of have less of an impetus to do anything. Because masks and stuff, I don't really care about. I don't have enough money to have enough bank space, to really care about stuff like that.
Right.
I have a question. Are the brooms still like they run out after a certain amount of time?
They
or
only
is this like
work during Hallows
permanent?
End.
They what?
They only work during Hallows End.
Oh, okay.
There may be one that's like a permanent broom or something that's like an elite something, but I think they changed that out for his horse, so you can like win the Headless Horseman's horse.
That's cool. Which is really rare.
Yeah, and then of course the Squashling pet, which is the pumpkin walking around behind you. I think that's a good one. There's also quests to basically go throw eggs on South Shore. Which you get some stuff. I mean, there's a little flavor for I think all levels, right?
And there's pumpkins everywhere.
And more so than making me excited about it, it's making me want to be higher level. So I guess it's doing its job in some way. It's not appealing to me as at a mid-level kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about before the show started. It's like like me and you, Spencer, we have priorities that have absolutely nothing to do with these little mini events. Like you're trying to level. I want to get gear and do my dailies, things like that. And I don't have enough time to go trick or treat and all this stuff. I've got things to do.
That's how I feel.
Busy man.
Well, I really like flavor. I really do. I think it's tasty. Sorry, but
I hope so.
I am looking forward to being at a point in the game where that kind of thing appeals to me, and I'm just not there yet.
Or at least where you don't have to worry about leveling. Like, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. Did we even mention the doing these achievements to work your way up to getting the proto mount or the
yeah, I
violent?
guess that's one thing with doing these achievements now is there's one proto drake that you can get by completing all the yearly events. It's like a purple one, I think.
Yep.
Purple or pink or something.
310% speed.
So like people were just now being able to get it finishing the Brewfest. The first ones were popping up because it was, I guess that was one of the first events after they put in achievements. Mm-hmm. So it's something where if you waited till you were 80 to start doing the achievements, well, now you'd have to wait till Halloween next year to actually be able to complete it, which is,
I think I'd be okay with that, honestly.
And so that works out. So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah.
This horse into the ground. So what else we got?
Well, here to cap it off, for anybody wondering where they can go and check all these out, if you don't know, go to wowhead.com right now. On the front page, there's a Hallows End guide, and it's one page that has all the quests, all the content. It's all Hallows End. You can check that out. We'll have a link in the show notes. That's everything that you can do. I gave that to Sabrina today. I said, hey, there's a link here. All the stuff's there. Go check it out. Because she was like, usually we level together, and she's like, well, I'm bored. I want something to do in WoW that's not leveling. It's like, yeah, do the Hallows End stuff. So
the one thing I wish they had updated, which they may have, and I just don't notice it, is the level 51 to 60 mobs have a chance to drop a rare pumpkin bag. It's a 16 slot bag. I wish they had increase the size of that bag to like what people are using now.
Oh, true.
Yeah, 16. You can get one of them on the auction house for like 10 gold.
Yeah, I mean, I have all 20s because I'm a tailor, I guess, but still.
Yeah,
16's
I mean,
kinda
but
chumpy.
I kind of like having different looking bags because I don't use a bag mod like you do,
Yeah.
and so I can look down at the bag and kind of know what's in there just by what the bag looks like.
Oh, right. We need to go kill what's her name and grab some big bags.
Yeah, I hate her.
Paris Hilton.
No, yeah, kill her and take her bags. No, the dragon.
Sounds wrong.
Freaking
Anixia?
Anixia
Yeah.
2.0. Yeah. Yeah.
See that there again? I want to be higher level. You
Yeah.
guys just talking about stuff that I can't do, you bastards.
You have to trudge through this thing. Just on your second monitor, watch Charles in Charge. On the left monitor, just grind away.
Can I watch? Can I watch Stargate
No,
instead?
it has to be Charles in Charge.
It has to be Charles.
Yes.
Do they have
You get
Charles
a
in
3% XP gain increase if you watch Charles in Charge.
Yeah.
Is Charles in Charge on Hulu?
It is. Yeah.
I gotta go, guys.
You're golden.
Now, I have to go way back because I only just remembered why I loaded WoW. The Lore Master achievements, I'm assuming that all the Alliance-only quests got taken away because I only have about like 100 to 130 quests done in Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor, which no way someone could level to 60 with only doing 300 quests.
Yeah.
So I
Probably
think I think it kept the neutral quests, like the quests that both Horde and Alliance can get, but it took away all the quests that were Alliance only.
Oh, that sucks.
Ah.
But that's good to know if it's indeed true.
Yeah, I might. Maybe it only took 300 quests to level to 60. I wish.
I mean, if you think about Northrend, you do 150 quests in one zone to get the achievement. I think Borean Tundra, I might be wrong, but I thought it was 150. Or maybe it's Fjord. In one of the zones, it's 150. Maybe Dragonblight. I really don't remember, but...
Borean's 150. I just checked.
Okay, good. Now, I think Grizzly Hills was something like 75, so that's kind of a small one.
Now it tells
Yeah.
you the total of quest in that zone or in that area, right?
I don't think so.
Like how
No,
many
that's
you have
not
to
all,
get
though.
to get the achievement?
Oh, yeah.
Like how many is that?
Well, that's
Where?
what I said. Like 150, 75, whatever.
No, I mean like in for the Eastern Kingdom. Like it'll say he has 300.
550.
That's the total.
Yeah, and I did 125 according to
Okay.
this.
Oh, that doesn't sound like much at all, does it?
Yeah, so I'm pretty. It must have taken away the Alliance only quests.
No, well,
That sucks.
I think I need like almost 200 quests for each side, so I don't know. It could be about right.
And they give you a little buffer too, like I said, over in Borean Tundra, doing 150 gets you the achievement. There's actually more than that. So
Yeah,
because I
but
did
hold
more.
on. I just had an idea. Okay, Eric, you flipped and shipped, right?
Right.
Brent,
Twice.
you didn't, right?
right.
You two compare. Because then we'll see what Eric did, because we've both flipped and shipped. We'll compare to what I have, and then compared to yours, and then we'll see if they're about the same.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be my assignment.
Yeah, I'm doing the assignments now.
I like it.
Great.
Already got my assignment. Charles in
Great.
What level?
Yeah,
to
Charles in
80?
Charge, baby.
Okay, so I guess that's our Hallows End spiel for the week. Well, I don't know. Is it? We kind of ran into it before actually going into it, didn't we?
Let's pretend like we end it and then sprinkle it throughout the rest of the show.
Okay, like a fine, like artesian salt.
Yum.
Okay, well, we also have new stuff on the PTR. If you want to go to MMO-champions.com, you can see a lot of the armor. They've got some movies of the armors, things like that. They also added the Tier 10 Mage and Warlock sets, so you can see what those look like. Maps to all the zones, new achievements. Some interesting things I thought from the patch notes for the 3.3 PTR. Level 1 characters will no longer start with food and water. I think that's fine. What did y'all do with y'all's food and water with those characters?
Sold it.
I sold it immediately. It's money.
I did too.
That doesn't matter. One thing I thought, the reputation for Wrath of the Lich King, they're increasing it by 30%. Your gains.
Oh, nice.
It's a big gains, and
You
that's
mean for the
Argent Crusade, Alliance.
You say Wrath of the Lich King, you mean what? What are you talking about?
Argent Crusade, Alliance Vanguard, Horde Expedition, Kirin Tor, Knights of the Ebon Blade, Sons of Hodir, and Worms. It's all the new factions that you get in Wrath of the Lich King. The Sons of the Hodir quest will actually give more reputation overall, which that's the last one I'm lacking pretty much, so I can understand that.
Now, is this because they're pushing you to the end now, and that they're fizzling out, like BC did? They started nerfing all of the bosses, and then they started giving more XP, and
they're trying to get everybody caught up.
Right. They want you to get down. They want you to get up there, and
it's a soft reset before 3.3, so everyone can start off at the same place for Ice Crown.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what they've said? They've said that, and I thought this was interesting coming from other games. They said that they want now 1 to 70 to take as much time as 1 to 60 did before. So they're probably going to do the same thing with 1 to 80. They're going to want 1 to 80 to be the same thing as 1 to 60 was originally. So they're going to start speeding everything up and stuff like that.
Yeah. And on top of this, and I like this because I've always thought that you shouldn't really have to do faction, grind more faction on alts. You know, it just seems a little silly to me. So what they're doing is the top level helm and shoulder faction related enchants are going to be bind on account. So you won't have to grind up with that second character. You can just buy it with your first character and ship it on over there.
oh.
Nice.
Should be more stuff like that.
Yeah, I was talking about, and I kind of got shot down in the guild, but I was talking about, I think achievements, they should basically have a master achievements list for like all your characters. Maybe you only get the item and the title on the character that you actually completed it on or something, but
I absolutely agree. Completely. 100%. And that's coming from being an achievement whore on Xbox Live, you know?
yeah, because I mean, honestly, I could care less about achievements on any of my alts now.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not about to even start.
Me too. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Achievement get coughed on the podcast.
Thing.
There's a lot of changes in spells and stuff, and I'm not going to go into that because I don't know how important that is to a lot of classes that aren't mine. So you can look at those on MMO Champion, like we said.
If they're not druid, they're crap.
And whatever they did to mages was probably a nerf, because that's what Blizzard always does to mages. Isn't that right, Wes? We got Wes in the chat room right now. I want to see what he says about that, because he plays a mage, doesn't he? Frost mage?
Right! Wait, how do you do
so,
Wes?
So Brent, just so you know, my bank alt is a druid, and that's going to be the second character that I work on.
Yeah. I love druids. And speaking of druids, WarcraftPets.com is they're sponsoring a contest with your guild, along with Jinx and Figure Prints. This is basically for you skinning and web developers out there to make a skin for your guild in wowstead.com. And this the prizes are things like the TCG Tuskar kite code, which would be kind of cool. Egbert figure print, $50 Jinx gift certificate, 60 days WoW game time, and some other cool things. So I thought that was something that people.
What does that have to do with druids?
Absolutely nothing, but that was my segue. Because you can make a really cool druid theme that I would use on my druid-only guild.
What is? I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about here. What are you talking about?
There's a
I'm
website
actually kind
that's
of confused
basically
too. You didn't explain that very well.
There's a website that's basically like a guild website where you can set up your guild page, and they're basically having a contest to basically make skins for these websites.
We use that? Do we have a guild page? Because I've never looked for one.
No, not really.
Okay.
We've got a website, but it's down right now.
We don't really.
I was going to ask, do you use Vent? Because I've never even checked.
Yes, we actually use our CP Vent channel.
Okay, I'll log in. Semi-play then.
There's a whole bunch of WoW channels down at the bottom now.
Yeah, that was really weird too. Going way back to my week when I got the vent info from the guild people that first day when I got in that group, and I log on. I'm like, this is the control point vent.
Yeah.
I already have this information.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So
Good going, Nubby Nub.
Did everybody get their penguin, Mr. Chili?
Mr. Chili.
You know, I merged my accounts before I was playing WoW.
Uh-huh.
Like I merged like a really, really old WoW account, so yeah, I got a penguin.
I was a little miffed about it because in Wrath of the Lich King, there's a faction that you can grind for a penguin pet.
Is it the same model?
It is very similar. It is pretty much
just a slightly different face.
Yeah.
It's a great.
You know what? That doesn't bother me at all because I can totally see myself. The two areas that I can see myself like really, really, really working at is one, collecting as many different mounts as I can just for the crap of it, and two, getting as many silly, stupid pets as I can.
Oh, believe me,
I don't know what it is about that stuff, but it's like Spencer Nip, which is like catnip for Spencer. In case you needed an explanation for that.
That's all in my achievement hoarding. I mean, I almost have 8 pages in pets right now. So
Wow.
Holy crap!
So
I thought that was bad.
So Mr. Chili, do you get Mr. Chili on November 11th? Is it when everything merges?
I already got it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I already got mine, but that means that if you merge with BattleNet now, it's an incentive, right? So you get the pet. But if you slack off and you never get around to it, and Blizzard just automatically merges your account, do you still get it, or is it only incentive for early birds?
Who knows? I don't know.
So
We'll find out on the 11th.
I mean, I think it would be better served if it was an incentive. That way, the entire WoW population doesn't have the one pet that they just gave out. They might as well have just given it all out on one day. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Yeah,
I like the incentive.
I think that people that merge their accounts before the deadline should get the penguin, and people that do it on the deadline should get a good stiff slap across the face.
Oh, I thought you said dead penguin.
Yeah.
Like they get the penguin, and they're like, "Cool, a penguin."
there.
And then
And your
click
model
it,
starts
and it's just
crying. Yeah.
So it's like they should give you like a 7-day debuff that like it's horrible, you know, like sore cheek from being slapped too hard, and it's like
They just give you a seal that pops out, but then like a big orc runs out every time and beats it over the head.
Or they could give you a pet that as soon as you summon it, it eats your character, and your character dies.
Your doorbell rings and some guy just kicked you in the nuts. And I hope you have nuts, because that really sucks for you if not.
And then throws a dead penguin on your doorstep.
And then fake blood on you for wearing the dead penguin.
And then beats a seal.
what?
And all the other things we said.
Sorry, Ash, you just took it too far.
Yeah, that's wrong, man.
We're still diggers, right?
They're a military strike force.
Oh.
Okay.
No, I did do a digger quest this week. It was like it was in Grizzly Hills. You become a huge giant, and then you have to throw rocks at people. Remember that one?
Was it in Grizzly Hills?
Yeah, it's in Grizzly Hills.
yeah,
You become a huge giant. You throw rocks, which I thought was pretty unique,
Yeah.
like nothing else before. But you had to do something to these giants, and then all of a sudden, those little dwarfs that dig upward. Like during Brewfest,
Yeah.
those diggers were coming up through the ground. And believe me,
Them my diggers.
yeah, those guys were awesome.
Speaking of those diggers things that come out to the ground, you know, I got the thing from the last holiday that I can summon one of those digger things to take me to Blackrock Depths.
Mm-hmm.
And so I used it today to get to that area as fast as I could for the trick-or-treating stuff. And the funny thing was, I tried this. There used to be a trick where you could group up with people, and then you'd leave the group, and it would port you to your bind spot. It was like a cheesy way to go to your bind spot if you'd used your stone.
Okay.
But it would use up your stone. Well, now they changed it where you go to the nearest graveyard if you do that. So you group up with someone, go into a dungeon, and then ungroup, and then in a minute you'll poof to your the nearest graveyard.
Okay.
Well, the cool thing about it is now it doesn't use up your stone, so it's like a free gate if you ever need it. Just go into a dungeon and invite someone. Hell, it's someone random. It doesn't matter if they'll join your group. That's all that matters.
Oh, okay. Huh. That's cool.
I believe we just heard the pro tip of the week.
Well, I
is that the pro
have
tip?
another one actually that I didn't. Well, I'll share it now with the Frenzy Heart tribe. I was talking about it earlier. There's a quest in there where you catch these chickens. And so he unleashes like 50 chickens, and you got to go click on 12 of them. Well, if you press V, it'll show their health bars over their heads, and it makes them much easier to click, because all you have to do is click that whole health bar and not the actual chicken running around. So
Oh my God, that is pro.
That is bro.
You have just heard the pro tip of the week, starring Brent Copeland.
And let's see, what segment are we in? Now I'm
We're
kinda
in
lost.
news and discussions.
News and
Something
discussion.
about Rodat.
Rodat? Oh, right. First, we have someone who just wandered into the studio.
What's up?
We have Sabrina here.
Hi, Sabrina.
Sabrina.
Glad to hear that your leg has not fallen off.
Yeah, not yet. It's starting to really hurt though.
Yeah, she had
Oh.
leg surgery. But how was your week in WoW?
Awesome. Well, okay, up until like yesterday when I actually started dying again. I think like apparently like if I'm on medication, I don't die nearly as often.
Nice.
Because when I had strep throat last weekend, I was on like Dayquil and NyQuil all weekend, and I actually didn't die. Like anybody that plays with me, I didn't die a lot. If it's falling off of cliffs accidentally or just not paying attention. And so now I got anesthesia, and here I get again. I'm doing good for like a week straight, not dying. But as soon as it starts wearing off, like last night and today, I just died like 10 times. Great. Now I'm back to being crappy again.
I mean, I always play on meth. I mean, that's all I do.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I gotta go get some Darvocet, man.
But yeah, so you're playing Death Knight,
Yep.
and
I leveled to 71 today.
How are you liking Death Knight? Because I'm thinking about doing that. once I
Well,
hit-
what did I play before?
you played. What did you play before?
Because I got to like level 26 or
Wow.
something.
So what you're saying is that Death Knight is so awesome that you can't remember what you played before?
Exactly.
Holy
Warlock.
crap.
It was Warlock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Well, that's what
I
I'm
really
playing
like
now.
it.
So man.
Mainly just for the
It's like
death
a
grip,
warrior
where I
warlock,
just click
right?
on people and pull them to me. That's totally worth it.
I love that ability when it's not used on me. Oh my god, doing PvP, you're like running and all of a sudden you're pulled back to these people that all stun you and kill you. It's the most horrible feeling in the world. I hate it. I hate all you damn Death Knights.
Oh man, I'm starting to have Warhammer flashbacks now.
Oh, it's like this is where Wes would be
and I
agreeing
died
with me.
without being able to do anything. Ah!
Any kind of ability in a game that makes you lose control of your money should be taken out immediately.
I like the nerd voice. Or
That
This is
almost
my
sounded-
Wes voice. It didn't work so well.
That sounded more like what's that sportscaster?
Dimus.
What?
He's not a sportscaster.
Here's a
Not anymore.
guy.
He's an angry morning caster that makes fun of black people or something.
I give up. I can't think of it. They make fun of it in Better Off Dead, and
No.
that's my favorite movie, and it's kind of sad that I can't.
Yeah. It's the most famous sportscaster ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dick
Cosell.
Vitale.
Howard Cosell.
Howard
yeah.
Cosell.
Okay, Wes chimed up in the chat room for that one, so.
Yes, you're
I
the
can't-
penguin.
We gotta take the credit.
Howard Cosell.
Yeah, Howard Cosell behind the finishing line.
That is a great movie.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't play WoW in it, so.
Yeah, this has absolutely
Sorry.
nothing to do with WoW.
Wow.
So what's your favorite scene, guys?
You know what? I'm gonna
No,
start the
otherwise
Cosell
my
fast
week
now.
in WoW was great.
I like when the mom makes the gross bacon, the sloppy looking. But anyway, okay, let's move this thing along.
I
What
remember
are we-
had you
It
like
has
the
raisins
French
in it.
fries.
Lauren is in underwear.
And this
All I
one
heard
has
was
French bread.
What about Tom Cruise and underwear?
dressing?
I don't know.
French fries.
I never heard-
Okay,
Gee,
moving on, moving
I'm
on.
sorry I
Tom
blew up your
Cruise
mom,
with
Ricky.
Testicles all over him in the chat room. What is going on?
Jeez. All right, are we going on to notable add-ons?
I
We
think we already talked about
Oh.
tour guide.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Robert yet.
yeah. Go back to Rodat.
Robert. Okay,
Yeah,
this is
that's
cool. Robert Rodat. I don't know how you say his name. But he was the writer of Saving Private Ryan and The Patriot. He's on board now for writing the WoW movie. He is now the official writer. He's going to write it. I don't know who's doing the actual screenplay. Maybe him as well. But still, he's writing the freaking thing. And
So is it early to proclaim that the Academy goes to World of Warcraft the movie?
I think it's going to be a very bloody movie.
Yeah.
Well, I was about to say it's great that he's writing it because neither of those movies that were mentioned have like hardly any dialogue. It's just bunch of guys killing each other, so that's
Are you
perfect.
kidding? Saving Private Ryan is like 26 hours
Hardly
long.
any dialogue. Hardly any dialogue in that movie.
It's like a 5-hour-long movie.
There's that dialogue when the guy's trying to blow up the tank treads with a sock and it blows off his arm and he goes, "Ah!" That's dialogue, dude.
And right before that, he goes, "Here, take this." And then and I just don't like that movie because Matt Damon's only in like 5 minutes of it. I love Matt Damon.
Sorry.
I have like 10,000 of his babies.
I would have 20,000 at once. It would be Ash and Matt plus 20,000.
I think I'm dragging this show down. I think my presence here is making the show worse.
Now this is weird. I found this on MTV's website. They had a little snippet. It was basically a blog post saying that there was a interview with Sam Raimi, and he was just talking about stuff, and the interviewer kind of snuck in a couple of World of Warcraft questions, and he kind of said that, oh yeah, Robert Rodat, I guess is his name, is on board and this and that. So I don't know if he was supposed to say that or not. Or, I mean, not so much as supposed to, but I don't know if it was a secret anyway. It kind of got out. And right now it's on IMDb as well. So if it got updated wrongfully, I don't know. But anyway, the reason I'm saying this is because if you go to the website now where I saw the clip, or I listened to the clip, it was a phone conversation with Sam Raimi. It's taken down. I was going to put it on the podcast right here. And actually, if I find it, I'll go ahead and still stick it on. Maybe at the very end.
Now it's recorded in the only public record that matters, World of WoW.
You heard it here first.
And I knew I should have just saved it and grabbed it. But, if I do find it, and I'll look for it, listen to the very end of this podcast, you will hear the clip of Sam Raimi talking about the movie. And he sounds kind of confused about it, actually, if you listen to it.
He's like, World of Warcraft, it has to do with, like, orcs, and it's kind of like, the two towers.
Well, what's even more embarrassing is the interviewer actually mispronounced Lich King, and he said it was the Lich King.
The licking.
Yeah, the licking. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm listening to here, but it's pretty horrible. But anyway, if I find it, you'll have a good little chuckle at the end.
World of Warcraft, Rise of the Licking.
See, I want to do some more machinima. Like we talked about doing the the high school thing, but you know how the humans, like if you keep doing the silly, you'll get the one where he does his it's basically the mock-up of what's it called? Lord of the Rings.
Oh, right, yeah.
But it's called something like, what if you did a machinima that was what he was describing, though?
Oh, yeah.
You probably could have found that about 4 years ago. I'm sure that's been done a million times.
I haven't seen it. We looked.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I'll give you that as something to do. So that's your goal for next week, Ash, just to see if that's out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it was my goal to make it.
No. Just find us out there and get us a link to it so we can all laugh and chuckle. It'll be like one of your cute little stories.
Bastards.
But this does sound good.
I'm gonna start singing Charles in Charge again.
Yeah. Anyway, Robert Rodat, I think he's a good writer. He writes kind of like epic stories, like Saving Private Ryan and The Patriot are two examples of just kind of like long adventures, going to different places. He seems fitting. I mean, it would be kind of neat to have somebody that maybe does something a little different, maybe like Oliver Stone or somebody who does something, who's trying something new.
I don't know. Oliver Stone would be a good choice.
Yeah,
well,
Oliver Stone's way too hit or miss.
Well, I'm just saying it would be neat if it was a little more experimental and less Hollywood cookie cutter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I see what you're saying. At the same time, I mean, you got to look at World of Warcraft. Is the word that single-handedly washed out any meaning of the word epic.
Yeah.
And World of Warcraft destroyed the meaning of the word epic, so we might as well get a screenwriter who writes, epic-ish stuff.
Yeah.
I can go with that.
And I want to go back saying you were saying that this guy writes epic battle movies, stuff like that, but it's not really that difficult. I mean, Mel Gibson says aim small, miss small, and then kills everyone, and then it's up to the director to figure it out.
Yeah, a good example of that is if you listen to our other podcast, Control Point, episode 50. That's kind of an epic adventure that's written by a bunch of like non-writing, authors.
I like how you did it. It was subtle. I meant to say it was subtle.
Nice.
So, notable add-ons and sites. Does anybody have a favorite add-on they use?
Like I said earlier, I mentioned the what is it? Tour guide, and that's been kind of making a unique experience for me in going through the game. But I'm really kind of curious. I wanted to go through some of the add-ons that I use and see if I'm using the wrong ones. And the reason I say that is because they were the add-ons that I used when I first started trying to play the game like 3 years ago.
Right.
And kind of like I say, I'm still using Thoughtbot because that's what I used 3 years ago. So now I find out there's something else I should use. But like, let's see. I use Titan Panel. Is that still good?
I remember that from years ago. Yeah, you are kind of stuck in the past.
Okay, let's still use that though.
What does everybody use for buttons? Like I use bartender.
Buttons?
Dominoes. I love dominoes.
I think I have, I don't know, bongos?
Bongos is one, yeah.
Now, dominoes used to be something else, and then it changed. Dang, what was it?
I tried, there was one everybody said was great, Pearl X.
I remember that. I tried
and
that.
I installed that. Yeah, X-Pro. And it made like every window, this gel window that looked cool, but there was like 4 billion windows just everywhere. And it was so hard to like tell when anything happened.
I use X-Pearl for portraits.
The movable portraits?
Yeah, but nothing else. Just the portraits.
Okay. And see, that's probably what it is. I'd probably install just like...
everything,
the default, that everything, and it was just like too much. Your eyes are like trying to explode because there's so much like everything moving and like 40 portraits just for one person and their focus and their pet and their left testicle. It was just too much. So I switched to bartender.
Back to my question: if Titan Panel is now like sort of outdated, what would replace it? Like as far as that functionality?
A bunch of separate things. I basically use a bunch of separate add-ons.
What?
I use a bunch of separate add-ons, and then I use one that all those buttons that puts around your window, it puts it in a slide-out bar, so it doesn't dirty up everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to actually look up the name.
Well, Titan Panel can do that. Titan Panel can...
Right, yeah. Titan Panel may be great still.
I used to use it. There's a lot of like minimalistic type add-ons that focus towards usability, but only temporary. Like you want to see more of the actual video. Like, I mean, you can get too much interface, and it really doesn't feel like you're in the environment anymore. Because like sometimes when I'm flying, I'll just hit Alt Z, so I can really just see stuff. I'm flying around. It looks awesome. But I've seen people's interfaces where there's tiny little pixels on, tiny little like a little white thing on the very left corner, and if you mouse over, then you see a bar. Then you click something, and then it goes away. But I'm not really... I'm kind of into both. I want minimalistic, but I want functionality too. So I think Dominoes gives you both.
I kind of like that idea. Like my dream like UI would be one that was almost like having Alt Z all the time until something happened. Yeah. Like I get a chat message and then slowly my chat ungrays and wherever it is, and I see that chat and I can chat. I get into a fight and my bars appear where I'm attacking. I need to interact with a bank or a merchant. Well, my bags all suddenly come up.
That's a really good idea.
Where everything's just kind of not there unless it's actually being used at the moment.
I've actually been thinking about that myself. My problem with bongos that I've been using so far is that it's not at all smart. It doesn't. There is. I can tell things to go away at certain times, but it doesn't really work very well, at least as far as I can figure out. And I would like ways to be able to group icons into situational areas, like. Let me get. I do use this one Warlock add-on that groups my powers into little round buttons that circle around.
I love
that. I used one for a shaman once, and I really liked that. It sort of really suited the shaman. I'm not crazy about it. For the warlock, all I have it set to do is like I use it to hide my pet buttons. That's it, because I don't need my pet buttons out all the time, so I use it for that. But I really want that functionality for more things, and I don't really feel like I have that.
What do you think, Sabrina, about user interfaces?
I mean, use the ones you told me to.
Yeah.
that's best I can.
So you use Domino's because I put it on there. I said, hey,
pretty much, whatever Eric tells me to, I'm like, okay.
So that just reminds me of a bad Kiss song, and I couldn't use it.
Well, this is wait, what?
Domino's is a horrible Kiss song that came anyway.
Well, this is weird. Wes Wilson, that guy in the chat room, because he's not here today.
That guy.
He said, I got sick of things going wrong, and I use the standard interface.
That makes sense, because when I first reinstalled WoW, like for this latest push that I'm on right now, I sent him a message. I said, I've got this weird problem with my interface and I can't figure it out. It's driving me crazy. And he just laughed at me. So he has a point. I mean,
well,
he does, except for they need to get rid of those freaking dragons down there on the bottom. It just messes up my whole layout.
They're like bookends.
Yeah, and it's like now I have nowhere nice to put my chat. Right?
So you want it to be something like Warhammer, let you turn those off?
Yes, exactly like that. And that's the whole, because I didn't use a button thing for my buttons. I just used the standard thing in those two little dragons. But I got sick of trying to put my chat somewhere that made sense, because it just aesthetically it just was not pleasing to have the chat squished into the left of that between my screen and that. Yeah. So finally I looked everywhere to turn those dragons off, because I swear I've seen someplace where you couldn't find it. So I got bartender, which is like the super simplistic bar add-on, which basically does like Warhammer. You have one screen where you can move around your bars and look at them, and then one screen where you can change the options for each individual bar, and that's it. Nothing fancy past that. And then I just made my square bars, and now I have my chat all nice and square next to it, and it makes life good.
The way I have mine is I have a tower of buttons right in the center bottom, and then about 5 rows maybe, and then on the left side I have chat, on the right side I have combat log. What, is that gross? You don't like that?
I hate the 4 stacked buttons. It's like, to me, my head says, what does all that crap do?
Really?
I've
trained myself to use it like that. I don't know.
I maximized how big my first main row does. It has all my main abilities on it. And so it's huge, right? At the bottom, my chat to the left of it, and then I have 2 stacks on the right, and then 2 vertical stacks on the right.
Oh, you did the vertical thing. Oh, okay.
So it's really big, the stuff I use all the time, and then I have a couple that I made bigger kind of in places that I use kind of whatever. Okay. But yeah, just like the 4, you're like one of those 4 stack guys that I always see, and I'm like, how do they play like?
Yeah, I'm one of those.
You got to click everything, right?
No, I have a row for numbers and a row for F keys, and then a lot of them that are. I'm never gonna hit 7, 8, or 9 or anything like that. So I have a G15 keyboard, so I bind those to the keys on the left side. So I hit all these macros, and they hit the higher numbers like F7 through F12. So I can hit those with my pinky, and then my pointer finger hits 1 through 5.
Then what about the other 2 rows stacked up there?
Those I have to click. Those are consumables and crap that I don't. Those aren't like. Mainly use spells and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah, Eric and I went through all of mine the other day because you notice I tend to do my death grip because we were doing the dungeons and I'm not supposed to because you're our tank and I'll end up dying, and so I just had to get to where I'd move them away if I ever do dungeons, because otherwise I'll just be pressing them by habit. But we went through and organized all of mine between what they do. I'm like, what does this do, Eric? And he explains it to me. So then we move it all over here, like the ones that affect everybody and the ones that, just do.
Yeah.
Localized if you're in a group.
But yeah, so I have 2 rows of the ones, my Fs and my numbers that I go through and use. And then the, consumables,
Guys,
first aid.
What's up?
Ash is dropped. Can you call him back?
Oh, I was wondering why I hadn't heard from him in a while. But yeah, I was trying to teach Sabrina about AoEs and dungeons. And it's like it's not necessary, and it's actually bad, you know.
Yeah,
At times,
I just by habit
yeah.
because Eric's a priest, and I'm just used to like whipping out my death and decay and like hitting like 5 people and attacking them. And I'm like, oh, I shouldn't do that here.
You know what my issue right now with interface more than anything else is, as warlock I cast like maybe 4 spells and I know that'll change once I start doing like raids and stuff like that, but right now what do? I cast my 3 dots and then my pet 6 on them, and then I pull out my wand and blast them with my wand until they're dead. So I don't really have to do much stuff right now.
The only change you're going to find in that as you level is you won't put your pet on something. Otherwise, it's dots and AFK.
Well, and there's, if you really like go to the sites and look at the, because I used to be a mangle druid. Like I might as well just had 10 buttons that said mangle, and I just sat there and go up to something and hit mangle, right? Because I thought that's like my highest attack ability. And then when I got 5 dots, I'd hit my other big attack that would chomp on it, right? Fine, you can do decent, fine DPS like that. But if you really want to maximize your DPS, you go look at these formulas where it's like, no, actually, I've got to hit 7 buttons in certain arrangements, and I've got to actually look to see if spell has dropped off the guy, because if I reapply it before it drops off, it actually does less DPS in the end.
And I'm just getting tired listening to this. I mean, no, not you. I'm not getting tired listening to you. Just as soon as you start saying you got to do, these very like strict hierarchies of skills to maximize DPS, I start to lose interest.
Well, but see, that's the thing. It's kind of, and they've actually said this themselves. It's kind of, if you want to do that and you want to be the maximum DPS you do that. But if you're just happy with doing the mangle button, or like with a warlock doing your 1 or 2 spells, then you're going to do fine DPS, right?
So you're saying that I don't have to do that to be effective in a raid environment, kind of
right?
Thing. I don't have to like super maximize and like set up all these weird macros that do this, and I have to pay attention for exactly this moment when this happens. In which case I have to do this, and then it just makes my head hurt.
Right. And that's the brilliance that is WoW, right? They're trying to cater to the both mindsets, to the people who just want to hit that one button, and then to the people who sit there and min-max their characters with getting their stats all in this, and then they find the 7 exact abilities that they hit at the exact times to get the best DPS. So both camps are happy, right?
I think I'm too far in the one direction, because like, for example, people are asking me what build I'm using, like which tree I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even want to answer, because I don't even really feel like it matters to me that much.
No. And I don't think it really does for a long time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm going with the summon thing, because and the entire reason I'm going with the summon tree is because I like pets. Right. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the effectiveness of the summon tree. So I tell people this, and I'm like, oh, you're going that? You shouldn't level with that. And I'm like, you know what? You should just let me play the game.
Well, I mean, sometimes it really matters, like, being a priest, being a shadow priest or a holy priest. It's like, do you want to deal damage or do you want to heal,
Right.
I mean, sometimes it really matters, but, sometimes, I don't know.
See, and that's what I've always wondered about the classes, like the warlock or like the rogue. They're basically DPS classes, so I assume all 3 of their trees kind of are just variations of DPS.
Well, it's kind of like, do you want your pet to be really strong and cool and have neat stuff, or do you want your dots to be really cool and strong, or would you rather have your nukes and direct damage stuff be cool?
And I guess
I've really looked, and I do feel like I'll probably change specs once I start raiding with y'all, because I feel like the pet might become some more of a liability than I'm really interested in. So I might go with more of the focusing on the dots and stuff like that. But it just doesn't matter to me during the leveling up time. So
yeah. And warriors are kind of the same way. It's like, do you want to tank or do you want to do DPS?
Yeah, it's like, as long as this crap dies in front of me and I can level up, then I'm all good. Like, leveling up, there's times when I was like, oh wow, look, I got 3 points to spend. I can't believe I forgot to spend those points. So they must have really mattered,
And I just bought this week. I just bought dual spec for both of my characters.
Is that 1,000 gold?
Yeah, it's a
I haven't
grand.
bought it yet.
But it's really cool, you know, because I went to a dungeon with my priest, and I wanted to heal, but I was spec'd a shadow, and I was like, well, maybe I should have just bought the dual spec thing, because when I was a warrior a couple years ago, I would respec seriously every single week, and it cost 50 gold, and that's the max. So 50 gold every week, because on the weekends I would raid, on the weekdays I would just
save up money for your respec.
Yeah, I would I would grind for money and grind for motes and stuff like that, so I needed DPS. That's exactly what I did. Oh, dailies. Yeah. And you can't really go out as a prot warrior doing dailies. It would take forever and be really boring.
You wouldn't die, though.
No, you wouldn't die, but you wouldn't do any killing either.
Well, in our guild, for the most part, all the warriors went DPS, and our tanks are now druids for the most part.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean...
See, so what I'm getting from all this is that I picked the right class for my playstyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and druids are kind of in an odd spot, because it's like in my tree tells me exactly what I am. Like, I don't have 3 DPS trees. I'm either a healer, I'm a caster DPS, I'm a melee DPS, or I'm a melee tank.
And then you just gear out as you need.
Yeah, and those are my trees. So I don't have to be like, well, do I want to be this DPS or a fire DPS?
Right.
I don't get it. Wes just said that Wendy uses her prot warrior for dailies all the time. I could never. It's just so slow. It felt weird and slow.
Well, yeah, because you're not dealing as much damage as like when you're a fury or arms or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you could be a holy priest and you could be a smite priest or whatever, but that's just lame. That's like.
Well, I think you can do it as a prot. It just takes longer, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, because you don't need the defense as much when you're soloing, because it's made for a rogue to solo.
Right.
I know people who love doing dailies as prot, because they're just like, oh, I'll just pull all 15 things and kill them all, and I'm done.
Oh, shield slams. Yeah, you could do shield slams and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I think we beat this to death.
Yeah, so what's next? We've been talking a long time.
Only 2 hours.
Yeah.
Cursey boy.
Yeah, I made it all the way home through all of this. Like, you guys started when I left from, like, Tuscumbia, Alabama, so...
Were you listening on your iPod?
I did for a little bit, but, like, it was kind of spotty. Once you hit, like, a certain point, it would hit 3G, and then I went through an edge zone, and I was like, nah.
Well, we're buying a new antenna this week,
I heard one little section in the
that.
beginning of it. So.
See, everyone listening, you can watch live and you can listen live on your iPhone. There's a Ustream app, or you can check us out on Sundays.
I could see you guys and I could hear it, just until I hit Edge. The last thing I heard was Ash talking about his week. So.
Oh, and that was pretty weak. Yeah. That was a snoozer.
So moving on right along to the mailbox. We actually got some mail this week. We got some mail. This is from Chris, and Chris says, "Hello. I just wanted to make a comment about flying in Northrend. I discovered that you can have your main buy the cold weather flying scroll or book from the trainer. It binds to your account, and you can send it to your lower level toon. I tried it, and it works. My pally is only 72 right now, and has been flying for a while. I hope this information helps with leveling alts." And I think that's a great tip for your alts.
That's cool. I didn't even know that, and I went to see if I could do that, but I didn't realize you have to be 80 to get that tome. So they are making it easier for alts to level, but they want that full experience for your first.
And and I think we're seeing all this stuff. I mean, when we went to BlizzCon, I remember I forget who we were talking to. It was either Tristan or one of those guys from the groups, but they were talking about that they were in a meeting where they basically were talking about alts, and like Morhaime like turned around and said, "Alts? What are y'all talking about?" Like they didn't really have a high level understanding that, hey, people go out and they make these secondary characters that they level up for either playing at certain levels or just leveling up separate characters. So it's like after that point we started kind of seeing these updates. So it's kind of cool kind of seeing the progress that now they're concentrating on, hey, we need to figure out a way to make alts more viable and more fun to play.
Yeah,
they've added in a whole bunch of armor that's bind on account that you can pass down.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Can you call Ash back?
Oh, did Ash drop out? I was gonna say it's almost like Blizzard didn't realize that how hardcore people could get. And even though, like, you know, it's not very hardcore really to make an alt, but still it means that you're absorbing all of this content through this one character, but you go as far as to get even more. You know, you want another class and another class, and like you end up playing a horde and alliance, and you want to get all the content. Yeah. You know, they didn't put enough to really satisfy a hardcore gamer in general, because you could play this thing for a few months and probably get everything out of it, really.
I think that the entire history of the company has been them catching up to how enthusiastic their fan base is.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you think back to Diablo, the original Diablo, when people were trying to trade stuff and there was no trade interface. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
And you would end up like, okay, I'm going to drop my gold over here. You drop your item over there. We'll drop them at the same time, and we'll run across, and we'll pass each other so we can pick them up, and that's the only way that you can actually trust someone. And even then, people were like trying to figure out how they could pick up the money and the item and get away.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they had to work on it from there. And I kind of feel like that's happened over and over and over again with Blizzard. And I don't know if it's their fault or if it's our fault. I think it's more our fault.
Yeah.
Well, and luckily, I guess Wrath has been kind of the paradigm shift to alts, like all the stuff that you could get for your alts. And I think, and I'm glad, what we'll see with Cataclysm is the same thing with guilds. I think we'll kind of see a push towards the guild aspect of the game that's kind of been missing from day one. And that's probably has me more excited about the game than anything. So I'm looking forward to that, definitely.
I mean, I think that they have a very good habit of pulling from other things that work. And a lot of things in Warhammer did not work, but the guild levels, that was awesome. I think you would agree with me, Brent.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And I that is one of the reasons why I was like really thinking about getting back into the game, because it's like I love that, and it sounds cool. So
yeah, and honestly, it's like seeing that and how excited I was for Cataclysm. I'm actually excited to see what they're going to do after Cataclysm.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which we'll tell you next week. So come back and listen to us. And
tell you exactly what Blizzard has planned.
And if you're looking for other things, you can always go to YouTube and search for Dead Workers Party, and we got tons of stuff there. Matter of fact, sign up to our channel, and that way you'll get a little update whenever we put up a new video, and you can watch us live every Sunday at deadworkers.com/live. If you want to leave us iTunes reviews, we appreciate it. We have a new address that you can send us email to, which makes it much easier. wow@deadworkers.com. Go figure. Took us a while to think of that one.
Brilliant.
And if
how
you're
is that spelled?
WOW
at DEDWERKERS.com.
Wait a minute. You just spelled. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, did you actually?
Do not spell it that way. Do not spell it that way.
Oh man, do I really look bored and tired? I don't.
Is that what people are saying in the chat room? I don't know.
I'm not.
I look tired and bored.
It's been a long day, though. I mean, we've had the first podcast went almost 2 hours. This one's almost 2 hours,
and it's 4 hours to get running. So
yeah.
So. We have 17 more shows to record that tonight. So
and all that WoW beforehand. I mean, it's a long day.
Oh, I gotta log in and trick or treat right
I know.
now.
I'm about to say, like, we need to cut this thing off and go trick or treat.
Sounds like it. And of course, don't forget CPCon 4 New Year's Eve.
3?
4.
Yeah, it's the 3rd.
No, it's 4.
It's 3rd.
No, OmegaCon was 1.
You're what?
OmegaCon was 1.
Oh yeah, it's true.
OmegaCon. All right, so are we ending this thing? Or
Yeah.
what?
So call us at 256-513-4772. Put it on your phone and call frequently, often with cool tips.
Do
Or
not
don't.
call collect. Do not call collect. We will not accept your charges.
Yes.
Well,
right.
wasn't there something we were going to announce in regards to me and this podcast?
What's that?
Yeah, Ash will never be on the show ever again because he's a big head.
Exactly.
What do you want to announce, Ash?
I thought you guys would.
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
So we talked about it on the phone.
Oh, you becoming a recurring member of the podcast?
Recurring isn't the word I'd use.
A permanent host.
Permanent host.
That sounds more like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ash is going to join us every week that he's able to now.
Yeah. And I think Sabrina's going to get in on some more of this action too.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
Yeah, and I'll actually write stuff down and know what I'm going to be talking about.
Nice.
They were like, what was my other character?
That'll be different from us.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at remembering names.
So it's becoming a WoW round table.
It is. It's fun. It's a little WoW party.
Yeah.
Well,
Knights of the WoW table.
So
don't worry, I'm still only coming whenever I feel like it. So.
That's what she said.
Heyo.
Heyo.
All right.
I think it's a good time to end it. I think.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Bye-bye.
Bye.